Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach, and today I'm talking about this is what happens when you don't chase. So another dating advice video. So if you stop chasing someone, let's say someone you've been on a few dates with, perhaps they've started to lose a bit of interest in you and you're a bit worried, or perhaps you can just feel like, oh my God, I really want to pursue them, or I really want to chase them, and you can tell that your emotional self-control is basically wavering. But the best thing to do is to not chase. And basically the reason why, and basically what happens when you don't chase is that person who you're dating then has to pursue you more, right? That's what happens. If they like you, if they're still interested in you, if they have feelings for you, if they're attracted to you, when you don't chase, they chase, right? They pursue you, they reach out to you, right? But it's important when you're doing this sort of thing, and especially if it is with someone who perhaps has been a bit hot and cold, whenever they do reach out to you, don't be cold or mean to them, okay? Because I've seen people do this, like they get upset, basically, that the person they're dating isn't messaging them enough, or stop contacting them, or it appears that they're losing interest. And then suddenly, after giving them some space, this person then comes back, and then suddenly you're just being really cold and mean to them, right? So basically what's happening there is you are punishing them for doing the thing that you wanted them to do, right? If someone starts acting and behaving in a way that you wanted them to, you have to be nice to them, basically, when they reach out to you. And I don't mean like being a pleaser. I just mean when they reach out to you, you got to be happy to hear from them. Like, oh, it's good to hear from you. I'd love to hang out. When are you free to catch up? You know, saying something really positive and light-hearted, not when they message you, you say something passive-aggressive like, oh, thank God you finally graced me with your presence, or something mean or cold or something like that. And it just doesn't work. It's not what they want, right? And because you don't, basically, essentially, you don't know what's going on in someone else's life, especially if, for example, you know, you haven't been on that many dates with them, you don't really know them a lot, right? Let's say you've been on like maybe 3 or 4 dates with them, and you're still getting to know each other. Like, you don't know what's going on in their life, right? And it may be that, like, because I gave this advice to someone once, and they said, well, why didn't they talk to me about it? I will always be an ear. I can, you know, I would love for them to like, talk to me about their problems and tell me the reasons why. But the thing is, if you've only just started dating someone, they probably don't feel like they want to tell you about those intimate details of their life yet. Right? Because what if there's like an ex that is still in the picture that you know, is bothering them and making them feel sad, or perhaps they've got some sort of like health condition that they're not really wanting to talk about, right? Just because you've been on a few dates doesn't mean that you're now best friends and they're going to tell you absolutely everything about their life, right? So if someone does go cold and distant on you, and they want, and it looks like they want space, they've lost interest, whatever it may be, you've got to be understanding that there could be something going on. There could potentially be something going on that I don't know about, right? That they're not telling me about. And that's okay, because we've only been on a few dates. I don't know them very well. I'm not their best friend, right? And it may be the case that they have a few friends that they're already talking to about it anyway. They might have a best friend. They might have their parents that they talk to about it, whatever issue they're going through. So they're not going to talk to you about it, this person that they've only been on a few dates with, right? Because they don't know you well enough, and because they've already been telling their story, whatever is bothering them, or whatever been going on over and over again to people that they're really intimately entwined with, like their parents or the best friend or something, that they're not going to rehash it to someone they barely know. Or they may tell you a little bit, but they're not going to tell you the full story. So you've got to be considerate, basically. It could be that they've just lost interest in you, or it could be that they just have something going on in their lives that you just don't know anything about. So it's best, when they do reach out to you, to be kind, to be nice to them, to be happy to hear from them. You know, just at least be happy to hear from them. Like, oh, it's great to hear from you. When are you free to hang out? You know, just say something like that. That's all you need to say. Don't question why they disappeared, because you don't know why, and they may not want to talk about it. And it may be the case that they lost interest and then they rethought about it and thought, you know what? Actually, I do like them. They're not pursuing me too much. They're being really cool about it. I'm going to reach out to them. Or it could be, I've gone through a lot of issues, and now I feel ready, I can go out and date again. I'm going to contact that person who I went on a few dates with because I actually really enjoyed their company. Okay, so you can't be cold, you can't be mean to them because you don't know what's going on in their life, and don't assume you do know because you probably don't, right? So that's something else to consider as well. So another thing is that if you don't like the fact that they've been hot and cold with you, you don't have to continue dating them. If they do reach out to you, you don't have to, reciprocate. You don't have to arrange a date with them. You don't have to. If you don't like the fact that they've been hot and cold, you don't have to continue giving your energy to that person if it's really annoyed you, right? And then go and search for someone who doesn't do those things. Okay, so you don't have to continue dating them if they've been hot and cold with you. Okay. So something that may help if this kind of situation happens to you a lot and you find yourself getting really insecure about this sort of thing when someone, doesn't message you as much or it seems like they're losing interest, work on your insecurities, right? Find a way to work on those things. So if you do feel insecure when a girl or a guy, depending on who you are, doesn't reach out to you, or it looks like they're losing interest, then you've got to figure out how to make yourself feel a lot more confident in those situations, right? You've got to, I guess something that can help is just, learning the art of letting go of someone, just coming to this mindset of whatever will be, and they're either going to come back, they're either going to gain more interest in me and come back into my life, or they're not, right? And that's why you've got to let go and you've got to not chase them. Okay, because if they do have feelings for you, they will come around, right? And you've just got to trust the universe or whatever, whatever is meant for me will be. Either this person is going to come back and start gaining more interest in me and they're going to start pursuing me now that I've stopped chasing, or they're just going to fizzle out and you're never going to hear from them again, which isn't also, it's a good thing because that just means that you can now open space in your life to find someone else, right? And you've got to be aiming to find people, especially romantic partners, who want to be there, right? You've got to always be searching for those kinds of people to date. The people that, reciprocate feelings, the people that show up to dates that aren't flaky, that aren't hot and cold, okay? So obviously you got to give these sorts of people a chance because, again, you don't know what's going on in their life, right? They could be just going through a tough time that they're not ready to talk to you yet. So you back off and you just wait and see what happens. If they like you, they'll come, right? They'll hang out with you. They will message you eventually, right? And you've just got to allow that. You've got to allow them to feel whatever they feel. If they're not feeling it, if they're not interested in you, then there's not really much you can do. That's their feelings, that's their world, that's what's going on in their head, in their heart. You can't control them. You can only control what you do. Okay, and the best thing to do is to not chase them, right? Because that will then open the window for them to start missing you or to just go away, right? And that's where you've got to understand and realize, right? So remember that you don't know what's going on in someone else's life, especially someone that you've only just met and been on a few dates with, right? They're not going to post their entire story on Facebook about what's going on in their life because most people, when they post to social media, they're only giving highlights basically of what's going on in their life. You don't know every single little detail about them. So just allow them to be a human being that has different things going on in their life because you never know. Maybe they're having a stressful time at work. Maybe they've had to do lots of overtime. Perhaps they're just exhausted, right? And they're not ready to date and they're so exhausted, so mentally drained, they don't have time to reach out to you, right? That may be the case, right? Especially if their emotions are not yet engaged. Right? Obviously someone who you're in love with, who you've been dating for a long time, who perhaps you're in a relationship with, will find the energy to reply to you and talk to you, right? But someone who you've only just been on a couple of dates with probably won't, right? They probably won't. I'll message them next week. I'll talk to them some other day, right? They're not going to be as enthusiastic to message you, okay? If they're only just started dating you. Now, it may be the case they have a really, really high level of interest in you, and they may feel really compelled to reach out to you if they're that interested in you. But most people that you date are sort of like let's say 7 out of 10 interested in you, which means that if they're not feeling like messaging you, they're probably not going to message you, right? So you just got to allow people to be themselves. If they're going through stuff that you know nothing about, you just got to allow that to happen and just not be mean or cold to them when they do reach out to you. because they've finally done the thing that you wanted them to do, which is reach out. And you have to be positive. You have to make them feel good. Because if you're cold or mean to someone when they reach out to you, that's going to repel them. That's not going to make them feel good. And you want this person to feel good about you. You want this person to feel like they can approach you, right? So that means when they do approach you, you're nice, you're kind to them, right? And you're excited to hear from them, and you're asking, hey, when can we hang out again? When are you free? Say those kinds of things, right? So thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to get in touch with me personally, then please go to www.christineloveridge.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.